Hey everybody, it's Jeff with Wiseman Automotive. Today we are working on a 2011 Ford F150 with the 5.0 in there. It's a 4-door, it's 4-wheel drive, and it's automatic. And the customer is complaining of the dash telling him that the left rear door is open when it's obviously closed. Of course, when you cut the vehicle off, the interior light also stays on for an extended period of time. So that's two complaints he has, and both of them are related. So what happened is that the wires have actually broke, leading to the door switch. In your door, right here at the latch, there is a switch, and what it does, it tells the computer, hey, I'm open, I'm closed, I'm open, I'm closed. The switch was the first thing I was thinking, maybe that went bad. But then I got to doing a little bit of research and got to poking around a little bit, and I found out that the wires inside the door jamb are actually broken. And what happens is when you open this door, every time you open and close the door, the wires flex. And of course, after a long time of opening and closing the door, the wires bend and they break. Now, usually in this scenario, I usually see that on the driver's side front door, because that's obviously the door that gets used the most. This one is on the driver's side rear door, and the procedure for doing this would be the same whether it's the rear passenger or the rear driver door. Okay, so let me show you what I found. Okay, try to get you right in here good and close so you can see. So I got the connector disconnected. Now, the first thing I did was I pulled this rubber back, and then I could expose these wires right here. I want to see if I can get in the frame here. You can tell, 1, 2, looks like another one starting, 3. There's at least 2 or 3. I mean, this one right here is almost broken. This one right here is almost broken. I mean, you could go in there and you could try taking the pins out and probably new pins in there, and then you could try splicing the wires and maybe doing that. But the problem is I didn't have any pins that look like this. I have some old wiring harnesses from old vehicles laying around, but none of my pins look like that, nor will they match. I could try repairing the wire from here to here, but that would be very difficult, and it would probably take me quite a bit of time and a few choice words. So I'll show you how I'm going to fix it. But first, let me show you how to take it out of there. So when you pull this back, if you take your pocket screwdriver and you push in on this tab right here, and then push in on this tab right here, you can get this thing to pull out. When you pull it out, you see you're going to have this wiring harness right here. This wiring harness, the way you get this out, you take a screwdriver and you push in right there, and it will release it from that connector. So that's how you get that out. This right here is how we're going to fix it. This is the whole wiring harness. So it's going to switch in there, it's going to clip in there, and it's going to connect to like your motor and your door switch, your window up and down, and basically whatever else electrical that's in that door. This is going to replace the whole wiring harness, okay? This part number I got off of Amazon right here, okay? I'll try to remember to put a link in the description of where I got it from. So we're actually going to replace the whole wiring harness. Now the bad thing is you have to take this whole door panel off, but I believe this is going to be a lot better fix than trying to go in there and saw those wires in there, and I believe it's going to save me actually a lot of time. So first thing you need to do is there's a panel right here, and you just kind of put your fingers back behind there, and this panel is held on by these clips right here. So what you need to do is just take and pull straight out. Then there is a little screw here, looks like about I think it's small, maybe like a 6. Okay, I'll pull that screw out. All right, now we want to check the bottom for any other screws, which I think there are some, so let's check that. Okay, there's 2 other screws. There's one right here, same size. It's kind of hard for my 3/8 drive to fit in there. You may want to think about getting a quarter drive, but they're the same size. There's 2 of those. I'm gonna set these up on the seat. Okay, I went and got some plastic pry bars and stuff like that. I'm gonna take this stuff out that the customer has in there. We're gonna set this stuff to the side. So now that we got those bolts out, there is another hidden bolt. And I'm gonna do my best to try to show you how to do this. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, what I used my pocket screwdriver right here. And I went in here behind here kind of carefully. And I try not to scratch anything, and it's a little bit tight. But basically, what I did was I took my screwdriver and just kind of pried in here in the upper corner like this, and just kind of popped that dude loose. So don't forget to take that one out. All right, we got a bolt in behind there. This one looks actually kind of bigger, like it might be like an 8mm. So let me see if I can go find out what size bolt this is. It is an 8mm, so looks like that guy right there. Okay, put this to the side. All right, now the way this door panel's connected, it actually has like hooks, looks kind of like that. So you don't want to pull out on it like this, you'll break them. You want to pull up on it. All right. So now on the back side, it's got some clips we got to take off, and it's got some wiring harnesses to take off. So I'm just going to put the ones in the bottom back down to kind of hold the weight. I'll see if I can get you positioned over here, and hopefully I can get you a good view of what I'm going to do. Okay. I kick my towel out of the way. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got this green tab here, and I think, and what this is for, this is the cable that goes to your door handle. And I think I might have to get some needle nose pliers on this guy. My flashlight in here. And press it on the tabs to get it unlocked. So let me see if I can go find some needle nose. Maybe that'll work. One thing I did was I unclipped it from here, and it gave it about another 2 inches to come out. What I need to do is I need to squeeze right, it's gonna be kind of hard for me to show you guys, these tabs right here and right there. So I'm gonna squeeze that with my needle nose pliers and trying to get that cable to come out. So let me do that real quick. Okay, I squeezed them, got this to come up out like this, get it to come around and pull out there. Okay, now the next thing I have holding me on is the window switch. The wire that goes to this. So I'm gonna go back here gently, carefully, hopefully. I'll pop this dude up. There we go. It's held on by 2 clips there and there. And then I want to push in on this right here, the centerpiece. So I pushed in on this clip right here, and it released the wiring harness. All right. Now I think, yeah, it comes right off. So let me show you what I was talking about on the back side. See, if you pull straight out, you're going to break these, and they're all over the place. This actually goes into the door and hooks over. Okay, so let's take a step back. Look what we got here. If you had a blown speaker, now's the opportunity to replace your speaker. All right, so that wiring harness goes like that. So now we got to take this little shield off here. This kind of shields from the elements, and it's got this glue on here. Now try to take the glue, if it will. I like to try to keep the glue with the shield, not on the vehicle, but sometimes it won't. So we're just going to kind of pull this off of here ever so slightly. On some vehicles, you have to remove the speaker when you're taking this off. Not on this one though, because the speaker actually will go over top of it just to help hold it down, but this one is not the case. I'm just trying to kind of remove this. Oh boy. And if it rips, it's not a big deal. Got to think this is getting to be kind of an old vehicle now. Come on. Down here at the bottom is really not one to come off too well. Oh boy. It is what it is. All right, I'm going to lay this out of the way with the glue side facing up. All right. So now you can see we have our window motor. Disconnect that by pushing that tab in. Pull this out, tab out. Okay. So this wiring right here, it's got these little clips. I'm just pulling it like this. And that goes to your, should go to your door switch. And it's got a clip on the inside here. So I reached in there and I pushed that tab down, if you can see, and pulled it loose. Let's see here. I might take the speaker out just to have some open access there. So I went and got my 5.5 or 5.5 millimeter socket. I'm not saying that you have to take the speaker out. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to do this to try to make room and also be able to see a little bit better. I think it's going to make the job easier, and it's only 4 screws. And if you look right here, take that connector, you press that down, and now I'm going to take the 4 screws to the speaker that look like this, and we're going to set that over here to the side. Okay, so there's a clip right here, and there's a clip right there. Okay, and now we're going to fish this out the door. Okay, now let's just compare the wiring harness here. Okay, so let's see here. Looks like my gray wire, my gray connector. The pins look right. Wiring color is different. At least the pins are right. See, this one for the motor, 2-pin. Connector looks the same. And speaker, connector looks the same. One on the end. Of course, I kind of already knew that looked the same, so I checked that before. Yeah, looking pretty good. I think we're going to go ahead and install it. And then I'm going to keep this connector. I'll just throw this in a box because, you know, sometimes it might have a customer come in and maybe one of these other wires are broken. I don't know. Maybe I can fix it using that connector instead of spending 35 bucks on a new connector. I think a new wiring harness from Ford is about, I think it's less than 100 bucks. If you want to go that route. OE obviously is going to be better quality than the stuff you get from China. Hopefully this works. Let's feed it back through there. go ahead and push this dude in and around. I think one of the hardest parts, to be honest, is going to be getting the new connector in place where it actually connects to the body. That's probably going to be a little bit tedious. Okay, so now we just got to figure out how we want to lay this out. So I want to go ahead and put the connector, let's see here, I'll put the connector on for the wiper motor, or sorry, the window motor. Connect this guy on the inside. This is the one that goes to the speaker, so obviously he needs to go there, okay? And then this guy, he goes to the switch inside of here. Or actually, hang on a minute. This guy goes to that switch. So this one right here goes to the switch in here. And man, it's hard with somebody with big hands to get their hand back in there. And then I think I'm gonna run like I've run before. Want to make sure you try to get it connected in there. You don't want these wires coming on the windows going up and down. All right, so this one is the one that went up here. That goes right to the switch. Okay. Where did this one connect to? I don't know, that's kind of interesting. I thought I would have connected there. But like I said, you get what you pay for here. Okay, now we're going to put the speaker in. And I'm going to get my 5.5 socket with the extension. Extension always helps, or a lot of times it helps having an extension on, not just a socket. I'm going to route this wire back around this way, and I'm going to plug this guy in like that. Put him up there like that, and I'm going to start these screws by hand. Do not over torque these. They're just little plastic clips in there, so if you're using an impact gun, putting them in there, I would be very careful. To be honest with you, a quarter drive socket and extension would be more than enough, because like I said, you're not even drilling into metal here. You're going into just a plastic sleeve that's inside the metal. So obviously you have a metal screw, a plastic, let's just call it a plastic nut. The plastic nut is going to lose every time. Okay, so just a little bit there, just a little bit there, a little bit there. There you go. All right. So I'm thinking that they didn't, I think this needs to be down here, but like I said, kind of get what you pay for. So it's on the outside here, so not like the motor is going to hit it or anything, so or the window's going to go up and down and hit it, so I'm really not that concerned about that one. Man, almost lost that bolt there. All right, so I think now might be a good time to connect it to here inside the door jamb. Alrighty, so I came in here, I pushed that down, I heard a click, and now I connected my window switch, and so it works. When the switch goes down, it comes up, The next thing we can do is test the speaker real quick. Okay, I turned it on. It sounds like NASCAR is on, so the speaker does work. So now we need to test if the door switch works, which is why I was in here in the first place. The only problem is we have to be able to shut the door. Can't shut the door until we have this guy installed. So let's see if we can push this guy in here. Remember, it's got 2 clips on either side, and you got to push this thing in here. Goes in here only one way. There's a tab right here. I don't know if you can see it or not. That tab lines up with the slot in the bottom of the body. And then we're going to try to, and I'm expecting this thing to kind of not fit the greatest because it's a cheap wiring harness. We'll see. Like I said, you got to go in that tab. You got to go straight in. Yeah, like I said, when you buy the dealer stuff, it probably slides right in. When you buy this aftermarket stuff, a lot of times what you get, because there we go, slid right in. Man, don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. The boot's a little bit funky. I like to turn the wiring harness a little bit. Yeah, get that to come out of there. I didn't like that. So now I'm gonna kind of just fish this back. I didn't like how that boot was in there. I had it twisted, and of course, you don't want to do that. Well, probably won't look. It doesn't look right, first of all, but also, I don't know, why not shut right or something? So, okay. So now, let's test the door. Okay, you can see it says left rear door ajar. So we're gonna go in here, make sure everything's out of the way. We're gonna shut it. We know it has a tire pressure fault. And that's it, we fixed it. If you open the door, it went back to left rear door ajar. The Chinese parts worked. That's pretty cool. Alrighty, let's get to putting this door panel back on. Alright, so we're gonna take my pocket screwdriver. I'm gonna take this door switch back off. If your window doesn't go up and down after you plug this in, remember to put your door switch in, because if you don't, it won't work. It almost had me for a second. I plugged in, I was like, why is it not working? I was starting to panic, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's because of the door switch not being put in. All right, we're gonna get this barrier on here. Let's see here. I remember how everything goes. That goes on there. I'm trying to remember right here. Put your wiring harness through for the door switch. That guy's got to come through there, and then I think that's where it goes. Trying to find a spot and just kind of start with it. Okay, your cable for opening the door is right there. This cable, I'm trying to remember where that one came through. Tuck these little guys in. And this glue doesn't really want to stick anymore. I was on here. Oh, it didn't come through there. I think. Okay. Somebody's happier that way. Alright. So trying to put all my little plugs in that go into the bottom one. That kind of helps steady it. This glue, like I said, doesn't really stick that well. Some of these really stick really good. Okay. And then I got this little piece of garbage here on the end. I'll try to put him in, but he's not really doing much anyway, so he doesn't go in there. All right, so now let's find our door panel. Remember, it sticks, goes in there like at an angle like this. I'm gonna put the ones on the bottom. Kind of try to hold the weight. Just don't want to put a whole lot of weight on them, they will bust. Let's see here. I'm gonna get my cable back in here, so that's what I want, right there. All right, let's switch your angle over here so you can see, hopefully be able to see what I'm doing a little more. Okay, so we're gonna take, the first thing I'm gonna install, put this door pin back in, slide it over, pull the cable through the hole, and then push it through until it clicks. Don't forget your cable for your switch. Now this needs to go over top. When you put this on, I might have to put the window down, might make it easier. Go ahead and connect my door switch, or my window motor switch. Sometimes having that down might help you. And then you can try to find the door knob, door latch I should say. Yeah. Come on. There we go. All right. Now, this door lock thing is kind of hard sometimes. All right, I got it in there, got it in place. Phew, that actually took a little bit. Make sure that all your connectors are down in there. Can't fix it after you bolt it down. Okay, that feels pretty good. Now the next thing I need to do is go after that one in the center for the handle. Okay, so I grabbed my 8mm, I put my bolt in here, got it tight. The little clip behind actually fell down. I had to go retrieve it and then bend it and put it back in there. It's kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt. But anyways, so now gotta put this panel on. This clip goes in a certain way. That bevel in the back goes towards the door handle. You just push it in and it should clip in. There we go, I heard it snap. Snap into place. All right, now we got the wiring harness here for the door switch. We're gonna click that in, and that goes in one way. Push that down like that. Okay, got those in. All right, now we need to find the 3 little screws, and they were, I think, they weren't this one. I'm trying to remember what size. Oh, here it is, right here. They were the 6mm? Yeah. So we're gonna put the 6mm on our gun. And if you remember, we have one up here in the right-hand corner. And then I got the 2 that go onto the bottom of the door. Okay. And then this right here, got him tight, going out of there. All right. We got our piece here that snaps on, and it just kind of covers that, snaps into place, and you just kind of give it a, okay? All right. Now my hands were not too dirty during this procedure. Got a little cleaner here on a rag. I'm just gonna kind of wipe it down real quick. Make sure to get some of my fingerprints off or whatever. Any dust or dirt that I got on there from me. Kind of wipe it all down real quick. And then Now we got that in there. One last kind of final. Yep, it says the door is closed. Door is open. Door closed. Window goes up. I never put my fingerprints on the window, so we're good there. If I did touch the window, I would want to clean that off as well. Okay, so now we're going to stick the customer stuff back in here. If I can somewhat remember how it came out. And, of course, I want to get all my tools out of the seat. Okay, looks like we got it fixed. Thank you for watching this video. One thing I like to say is that, you know, usually going with OE would be the better way of doing things. It's better parts, better quality. But it looks like this way to fix it was a pretty good way of fixing it, and I think it's going to do really well. So we kind of lucked out on this one. Please like and subscribe and share this video if it helped you out. If you have any comments, questions, please leave them there, and I will do my best to answer them. Another thing I'd just like to say real quick is, you know, I'm sorry for some of the angles I had and stuff like that, but just remember, I am one guy out here with a cell phone videotaping this stuff. I'm trying to get you guys the best information I can and trying to show you all the little tips and tricks. That way you can do it yourself at home. So please stay tuned, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.